Welcome to the take of graphic Kabbalah to the subject Teshuvah. We're all familiar with this term. It's a buzzword at the very moment in Sikh circles related to the acknowledgement and understanding that the first 3 days in the year of each year, corresponding to the month of September and the 7th month of the lunar year, when each evening the equality between the hours of light and dark change, because in September, at this time of the year in the Northern Kingdom, in Jerusalem, the center of the world of Israel, it is the beginning of the fall. Now, there are these 3 special days at the very beginning which have nothing to do, quite independent of any other days in the Israel calendar. First of all, the 1st and 2nd of Tishrei, the new year. The new year, the beginning of the year. The new year, a new beginning, coinciding with the creation of the universe. Because this is the time of creation. And then the 3rd day, on the 10th of the month of Tishrei, is known as the Day of Atonement, Yom HaKippurim. And atonement is the same as at one meant. We become at one. With whom? Divinity, as the King of the universe, Melech HaOlam, in whose kingdom we reside. Now, we ask a question. What is the meaning of Teshuvah? Not as in the prayer books, not as in the tradition, not as in the commentaries of hundreds of years ago, because the take of graphic Kabbalah is that everything must be relevant for the now, for today, for our times. That is the whole purpose of graphic Kabbalah, to show that everything is meaningful. And so therefore, when we look at Teshuvah today, we don't look at Teshuvah as one did 100 years ago, or 200 years ago, or 500 years ago. We look at it in the now. What does it mean for us? Well, these 3 days are the days of awe. They are awesome. Awesome. When something is awesome, you say, oh, and your mouth opens, you're gaping. It's hard to believe. Something sensational. What is the awesomeness of the days of awe for us in our times? When I talk about our times, I'm talking about recently. According to the scientists, the universe is billions of years old. So therefore, anything that happened in the last 80, 90 years, or even 70 years, is very, very recent and very, very relevant. And that is how we have to see the subject of Teshuvah. Now, basically, what is awesome? First of all, that the universe was created out of nothingness, created at what is called a singularity, singular. Singular. If something is a singularity, it's a one and only, it's unique, it is special. Doesn't happen every day. That is the term that is used. By whom? By the scientists. Because the scientists made that not very long ago an amazing, awesome discovery. And what is it? That the world had a beginning, evidence to show that there was a beginning out of a singularity, out of nothingness. Think about it. Yeah? Our Torah talks about the beginning of the year, commemorating creation of the universe. Torah, thousands of years old, and here, in our time, it is proved. We have proved that the world began. And how did it begin? With a big bang. That is how it began. Now, scientists also discovered soon afterwards that when there was a big bang, it was known that there was an explosion, an expansion, tremendous heat was given out, and it cooled. And so the universe expanded, grew. But it was discovered soon afterwards that it continued growing. That means it is cooling. And what is more, it continues to cool. What is the conclusion? The conclusion is that it will happen, that the world will lose all its heat, become icy cold, freeze to death, die, finished, end. There is a story about the astronomer in the United States of America who was explaining this idea to a group of interested people. And there was a woman sitting in the front row, listening intently to every word. And she wasn't young. She was 94 years old. And at the end of the talk, she put up her hand and she said, "When is this going to happen? So the astronomer said, oh, in a few million years' time. Oh, she said, oh, I feel so much better. But now, we have the scientist, the modern scientist, Stephen Hawking, the man associated with black holes. Stephen Hawking comes along and says that there is what is called the psychological arrow of time. And that is, you have time with an arrow from left to right, where you have spring, summer, autumn or the fall, winter, cycle. Spring of time associated with the spring of our life in each of every one of us is youthful, springing around. That is the summer of our time, when we think more, when we consider more, when we're more logical. And then there is the time of the fall, where things are beginning to darken. And finally there is winter. And with winter in nature comes death. Stephen Hawking said that we human beings are following the psychological arrow of time. Each and every one of us is thinking in these terms, and that is, we come to the summer of life, and then the autumn of life, and then the winter of life, and we must die. That is what Stephen Hawking said. Stephen Hawking is not the first one to say so. You know very well that it is attributed to King Solomon, Song of Songs in the spring, and Proverbs in the summer, and then Kohelet, Vanity of Vanity in the fall, and finally, death. Not quite. Because Kohelet ends on a different note. Now, is this thinking in the world today in correspondence with Teshuvah? What is Teshuvah normally? Well, Teshuvah, if you look in a modern dictionary, you'll find that Teshuvah is a reply. Somebody asks a question, we reply. When we reply, we respond. We give a response. There's a response. And if we give a response, it means we are responsible. And if we are responsible, it means that each and every one of us has free will. In other words, we don't have to behave like this. It's voluntary what we do in life. But if we respond and have free will, immediately there are responsibilities which fall upon us. Because anyone who has free will is responsible for what he does. Now, why are we responsible for what we do? Well, let's ask a question. We're alive, we're here. We're listening. Why are we here? Did we choose to be here? Were we consulted before and said, you want to come down to earth? No. Life is a free gift. And who gave us this free gift? The King of Kings, the King of the universe, gave us this free gift. Why does he give us this free gift? Because there is a purpose in our lives. There is a reason why we are here. And as the Ramchal put it in the beginning of the 18th century, we are here to be the divine partners to perfect the imperfect. The past is perfect, the future imperfect, because we don't know where we're going to. So, we have to do something about it. Perfecting the imperfect. That is time in the Torah. And time was created with the Big Bang, with the beginning, before there was no time. No. If we are here to perfect the imperfect, and everybody is thinking that he's going to die, it's the contrary to what we are here for. We are here to live, we're here to fulfill ourselves, we are here to give our contribution to the world. We are here to better the world. That's our job. And that is the meaning of Teshuvah in our time. Doing something meaningful, doing something purposeful in order to give us fulfillment. And then we can say, we have fulfilled a purpose, we have done something. And that is why we are answerable to the King of Kings. Have we fulfilled our task? Have we done what we are supposed to do? And if not, why not? Rosh Hashanah, as a new year, is known as Yom HaDin, Day of Judgment. And it has a symbol. And this is the symbol. The shofar, the ram's horn. The ram's horn can be compared with a trumpet. What is the difference? In the case of a trumpet, it's a musical instrument. You learn to blow a trumpet. Every sound that comes out of the trumpet is true and correct. And if you're out of key, it's your fault, not the trumpet's. And therefore the trumpeter can sit relaxed, seating, if he knows what he's doing. But the shofar is very different, because the shofar is unpredictable. And you blow the shofar by Kesef, on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, before the first light of the new month has appeared. Covered up in the dark. We're in the dark. And this is the whole point. Are we doing the right thing or not? Have we done what we're supposed to do or not? We're in the dark, unsure. Now, it is not the request to blow the shofar. That's no obligation. We have to listen to hear the sound. And what does the person who blows the shofar do? He stands up and he holds the shofar to his lips and he's looking up and he blows. And he does so only in the presence of the congregation. He is prepared. He knows his job. He wouldn't stand there if he didn't know how to blow the shofar. And yet, from the moment he blows, he doesn't know what sound will come out. Why? The answer is simple. The blower is picking up the energy of the people sitting there, or rather standing there, in his presence. And if the energy as a whole, as a collective, is positive, his blasts are true. But on the other hand, if the energies are negative, then he will fail. And here we learn something that people do not realize. On the days of awe, we stand before divinity as a collective, as a group, as a totality. We are all here. We've come down together at one and the same time, in this time and age, to fulfill the same task. We have to reverse the onset of the darkness. We have to apply the principle of reversion. Go back to the perfect as a collective. And this is expressed in the blasts of the shofar. The shofar is telling us this. It starts off the tekiah. The tekiah, the first tekiah, is the alarm, the warning, danger, like before an explosion of a bomb. What is the danger? Our problem is that we are only half awake. We are sleeping. And as Maimonides says, awake, you sleepers. Wake up. Because when you wake up, your eyes are open. When your eyes are half closed or totally closed, you're in the dark. When your eyes are open, you can see. You can see what the problem is. You can see ahead. That's the difference. So therefore your eyes have to be open so that you can see. But there's another aspect. What is the original perfection? The original perfection is the round of 24 hours, equal 12 hours day, 12 hours night. The round of the month, the round of the year, the annual cycle, the round of a lifetime. That was the original. But then society changed. The society changed from a matriarchal age to a patriarchal age. In the matriarchal age, it was the round. In the patriarchal age, time was different. Time was linear, a change of time. How many of us are aware of it, that there are two types of time? We all think of time as our watch, as our clock. And look at it, it's a round. And there's a 12, the whole round of 12, which is a half of the total of the round. We live by the clock. That is our problem in the Western world. We don't realize that there is a linear time as well. And with a linear time, you have a heritage. I am the son of somebody, and I am the grandson of someone else, and the great-grandson of somebody else. And that is why you have the forefathers. The forefathers begin the patriarchal age, which is the change of time to linear time. Here is the secret. People don't realize that there is linear time. But the scientists have. That is one of the things the scientists have discovered. Linearity of time. Performing an experiment in linear time. You can do an experiment in China and another one in somewhere in the north of Canada, and the results will be the same. Because in linearity, part is as the whole. A major concept. And that is what we don't realize. And that is why we have to fulfill our obligation. And what does that mean? We have to break with the round. There has to be a break. To start off with, perfection was the round, and then the break. And then you could go on to linearity. And that is what the shofar is telling us. Listen to the sounds of the shofar. The alarm, wake up. In order to see ahead, that means there has to be a break. What is the second set of sounds? Shivarim, broken. You're breaking with the past. Ooh, 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 ooh. Where do we have it? We have it every day. After all, it doesn't follow the watch. Because you have nighttime when you're in the unconscious, and then from the unconscious to the conscious, there is a break, the break of day. In the temple, there was a man on the roof, and he looked to the east, and every morning he called out, Barkai. The break has arrived. Once you make the break, you change to linear time. And so therefore, the third set of blast is staccato. Tu. Here it is in a straight line, going tu. And then finally, the all clear. The all clear. It's all okay. You're on the right